Live look inside the renovated Husky Stadium. The first time the new facility will host the annual Apple Cup. Will the trophy be surrounded by purple or crimson later this afternoon? We're about to find out as we count down to kickoff here on Q13 Fox.
It's for the Apple Cup
ball game
and a new start for Washington State. 27 yards. Fernie lines it up.
It's a scene Coug fans have relished for the past year, and one Husky fans have tried to forget. Mike Leach winning his Apple Cup debut. Steve Sarkisian on the losing end for the first time in the rivalry. A 31-28 overtime win for Washington State, breaking a 3-game winning streak for the Huskies in the annual rivalry game. Today, those memories will step aside for new ones in the 106th edition of the Apple Cup. This is the Apple Cup pregame show. Aaron Levine alongside two guys who know a whole lot about this rivalry and what it means. Former Husky cornerback Roy Lewis, former Cougar quarterback Alex Brink. Can we get along on the set today, guys? We're gonna be okay.
Hope so.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Well, we'll figure it out. What's your opening take? Why is this game, Roy, more important for the Huskies to win today?
I mean, it's just time for us to turn the hump. You know, we've got everything in line: new stadium, new, acquisitions, new coaches, just all the things to add up correctly, and it's time for us to kind of turn that hump and kind of put a little stumping down to the Cougs over here.
And get over that 7-win plateau, of course, as well.
Absolutely.
Alex, why is this game bigger than for the Cougs?
Well, I mean, I think obviously for Washington State and the fan base now getting to 6 wins, becoming bowl eligible after the past few years where it hasn't been up to par for what Washington State wants to be. Bill Moose, Mike Leach. I mean, they brought in, the staff, everybody they want. It's time for them to take that next step, bowl eligibility, and then getting back to the elite in the Pac-12.
Oh, we're going to have a lot of time to talk to you guys throughout this pregame show. Let's head out to CenturyLink Field and join the 4th member of our team, Michelle Ludka. How you doing, Michelle?
I'm doing really good out here, Aaron. As you can see behind me, that the stadium is slowly starting to fill up. But I want to talk about Huskies quarterback Keith Price here for a second. I've got some video I want to show you as well. This was taken earlier today during warm-ups. Now, Keith Price was injured 2 weeks ago. He injured his shoulder against UCLA and sat out last week against Oregon State with redshirt freshman Siler Miles getting the start. And it's been debated all week as to which quarterback would start for the Huskies today. Now, I'd like to tell you that there's numerous media reports that have come out saying that Keith Price will, in fact, get the start for the Huskies. But, of course, I'll be keeping my eye on this. And if I get any updates, I'll bring it back to you as soon as I possibly can. And for now, Aaron, I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Okay, thanks a lot, Michelle. There are media reports saying that Keith Price is going to start this game. That's a big deal for the Huskies, Roy.
Absolutely. I mean, it's his senior year, senior game. His parents going to be there. His family's going to be there. Matter of fact, I think I even seen a couple of his relatives on the airplane this morning. So it's a big deal for Keith. Battling back from a little hiccup earlier in the season. I'm happy to see this guy step out there on the field for his last game.
All of his family members coming up from Southern California, along with yourself, the LA native. Alex, let's talk Connor Halliday on the other side of the ball. Fortunately, his arm hasn't fallen off so far this year. 597 pass attempts, 3,900 yards. That's just this season.
Yeah, he's got the full control of this air raid offense. I think late in the year here, he's really getting a feel for what Mike Leach wants him to do. Early in the year, turnovers were a big issue. The last 2 weeks, he's really got it under control, and they got 2 big wins coming into Husky Stadium.
Well, Halliday threw for 488 yards and 4 touchdowns against Utah. That is a pretty solid game. A reminder, we are with you all day long here on Q13 Fox, including after the game with the post-game show. The Dogs lead the all-time series, but the Cougs have won 5 of the last 9 games. Both teams eligible for a bowl game. Which one has the better? They're the inside track for a better bowl. Today's game could decide that one. We're going to be back with more on the Apple Cup pregame show after this. And a look at Washington State quarterback Connor Halliday. He's somewhere out there along the linemen out there at Washington State. Of course, they are at Husky Stadium today. Connor Halliday, a school record 13 career 300-yard performances. That's actually one better than Ryan Leaf and our in-studio analyst, Alex Brink, who each had 12 apiece. Let's take a look at both teams on offense. Talk about a prolific attack for both the Cougs and the Huskies, both scoring a lot of points, but doing so in different ways. The Cougs 1,000 more yards through the air, the Huskies 2,000 more yards on the ground. Guys, what stands out to you taking a look at this graphic?
Well, for me, looking at the rushing yards for Washington State, that's a little over 650. lately they've been running the ball more, which has made their offense more dynamic, certainly with that passing game that's going on.
All right. And for me, the thing that stands out again is the rushing yards by the University of Washington Huskies. I think Bishop Sankey has done a great job this year. Of course, he's a Doak finalist, and I'm pulling for him, but he's carried this team a lot when other aspects of the team couldn't kind of get things started. He's been the workhorse.
You talked about Bishop Sankey a little bit. What has impressed you the most this year about this entire Huskies team?
You know what? I think just the resiliency. These guys have battled week in and week out, and yeah, we went on that kind of 3-game slid, but you see we bounce right back and we keep fighting. I think that the attitude, guys expecting to win this year, I think has really spoke mounds to this team coming together, gelling together, and kind of getting a unit together that they think they can go out and win and compete each week in, week out.
Resilience seems to be a key word for both teams here, because I was going to turn to you, and this, Alex, and this Washington State team has been very resilient, coming back and finally eclipsing the whole bowl eligibility mark.
Yeah, I would echo what Roy's saying as far as Washington State's concerned, especially when you look at their road victories. You know, they've gone on the road, won games. This is another one where they're going to have to get to that 7-win mark. And so I think especially losing those 3 tough games, that 3-game road skid, and coming back here and eventually having a chance to get 3 in a row to finish the season.
We see a picture of Marcus Mason right here. He is your X factor for today's game?
Yeah, Marcus Mason's a guy that if you can get him involved in the running game and then also out of the backfield catching the football, he's going to be a difference maker along with that great receiving core. That's
pretty impressive. You know, a reminder, we are counting down, by the way, to kickoff on Q13 Fox. A 12:30 start, so in about 45 minutes from now, that game will start. We'll have reaction from the players, also reaction from these two, Roy Lewis and Alex Brink, here in studio. A tough task for the defense on both sides of the ball. Who can stop who? After talking about how prolific each of these offensive attacks are, that is the question today. Who can stop who? Expecting a lot of offense and a lot of points. We'll have the keys to defense coming up next on the Apple Cup pregame show. This is what it's all about. Forget Black Friday. Some of these tailgaters were out there at 6 a.m. this morning, by the way. Essential part of the Apple Cup festivities. We take a look at the defensive stats. We saw the offensive stats in the last break. The yards. I mean, the yard comparison, interesting here. The opponent TDs, though, is what I want to take a look at, because Washington State has given up 10 more offensive touchdowns against their opponents.
Yeah, you know, they've had trouble, especially in the middle part of the year, really stopping some of those better offenses. And so against Washington here, you know, with a lot of playmakers, it's going to be important that the defense steps up, especially in the secondary. The secondary is going to be key.
Well, let's go back out to Husky Stadium right now. Michelle Ludka standing by. Michelle, are you having fun with the tailgaters out there?
Oh, of course I'm having fun out here, Aaron. And because, you know, the rivalry on the field isn't the only great thing about Apple Cup. Like you said, let's talk about the fans. With the 12:30 kickoff, the diehards had to get out here bright and early, and you can better believe that I got right in the middle of all that excitement, all that action, dotted on film for you at home to check it out yourself. Now, as an unbiased media member, I flipped a coin. Let's start with the Huskies. Take a look. What is this?
Oh, this is fresh cougar meat.
That's a cougar.
Where does one find a cougar to put on a stick and roast?
Pullman, Washington, about 5 miles northwest.
Prediction on the game, guys.
72-0.
72-0.
Dog's gonna blow out.
We do this every game day, yeah. We bring them out and play cornhole.
Does it give you guys good luck, do you think, to your football team?
Absolutely. One of us is always the winner, so it's always a UW win.
This sweater came from Nordstrom's in 1987. It was a little baggier back then, but now it fits me like a fine piece of Italian fashion.
So between the Cougars and the Huskies, who gets dressed better for this occasion?
Oh, the Huskies, look at us. We're like Milan here. I mean, we're all about the fashion, the catwalk, everything. Except for him. I'm not sure where we've got him at.
Waiting for a dog win. It's going to be a great day. Go Dogs!
Now, don't worry, Cougar faithful, your fans represented out there tailgating as well. And in fact, the WSU Cougar football team is taking the field right here. They'll be coming behind me in a second. So it's a great day out here for Husky and Cougar fans alike, and hopefully it'll be a great game. Aaron, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, and a great look at Butch T. Cougar right behind Michelle Ludka out there. Go enjoy the game. I know she has a rooting interest. We're not going to tell anybody other than to say that, Roy Lewis, you are outmatched on this show 2-1, and I'm neutral. So there you go. Let's talk defense. And Roy, Sean Parker. We're not talking about the Napster or Facebook guy. We're talking about the guy from your alma mater, Narbonne High School in Los Angeles. What kind of impact can he have in today's game?
I think he's going to do a tremendous job. Sean has been making plays all year long, actually, and throughout his whole Husky career. But he leads that defense. He has a nice partner back in crime back there with Will Schamberger. And if you bring in the young pup, he'll do a great job. I think Marcus Peters does a great job. Greg Ducre. So I think we're solid defensively in the secondary. And seeing as how Washington State likes to air it out, I think it'll be a good day for us. I think Marcus is number 8 in the FBS as far as interceptions, so I'm looking for him to have a good day to us.
That's pretty impressive. It's amazing Sean Parker's already a senior. I remember when he committed to the University of Washington as one of the top recruits in the nation. How about you, Alex? Let's look at the Washington State side. DeMonte Horton. I mean, this is a guy we hadn't heard about until really this season. He had a pick 6 against Oregon last year, but he has 3 pick 6s already this year and 5 interceptions.
Yeah, he's really taken advantage of the opportunities that have been presented to him. Coach Bresky, the defensive coordinator, does a great job in the coverages they run. He puts Deon Buchanan high, lets DeMonte Horton roll up, and is able to really jump a lot of those short routes and pick those balls off.
How about Buchanan? Because he is a guy who is a senior this year, sort of a senior leader of this defense.
Yeah, he's really the key, I think, to this game. He's going to be a guy who has to fill in the run game, but then in the pass game, he's got to be able to play man coverage, probably on ASJ, and take away that middle of the field.
Not an easy task taking on ASJ, one of those big tight ends. Meanwhile, remember, our Huskies and Cougs both 4-4 in Pac-12 play this season. The Huskies with 7 total wins, the Cougs with 6. Kickoff approaching at 12:30 here on Q13 Fox. We're going to talk quarterbacks. Bishop Sankey, we talked about a little bit earlier in the show, and Dom Williams. He had a big touchdown last week against Utah. It's coming up next on the pregame show.
Q13 Fox News at 10. Right there with you.
Back here on the Apple Cup pregame show, Aaron Levine alongside Roy Lewis and Alex Brink. Let's head back out to Husky Stadium. Michelle Ludka standing by. Michelle, you got to spend a little time with the Washington State tailgaters as well. We have to give them their due, too.
Oh, yes. We got to spread the love all the way around. We checked in with the dog pack. They were having a great time tailgating. And now here is Cougar Nation. Prediction on the game?
55-13 Cougs.
Way too many Huskies around here. I don't like it.
But do you claim this man right here?
Unfortunately, I do. But after the game, it might be a different question.
Go Cougs! Go Cougs!
Let's go down! We'll keep it as a friendly rivalry, but we all know who's really going to win today.
On the Huskies and the Cougars, getting along, having a great time. So win or lose, no matter what, everyone can go home happy that they had a fun time. Aaron, I'll send it back to you.
I know there's going to be a fan base that's not going home happy, let's be honest. But Roy, let's talk quarterbacks. Keith Price missed last week with a shoulder injury. Siler Miles looked pretty good. Price is starting, though, expected to start at least. What do you think about that?
I think it's awesome. I think Keith deserves it. And not to take anything away from Siler. Siler's done his job. He's come in, he's filled in, he's played his part, he's played his role. He's led the team to some victories and got those guys to kind of boost the morale when things were kind of looking gray as Keith went down with that injury. But make no mistake about it, Keith Price is the starting quarterback for the University of Washington, and I think he's going to look to come into this senior game and kind of make a little statement for himself as he gets ready to enter into the next phase of his career.
No doubt about it. Alex, you can thank Mike Leach's system, but Connor Halliday is eclipsing some of your career marks at Washington State. How dangerous has Halliday become this season?
Well, you know, he is a guy who's supremely physically talented, and as he's matured as a player, you know, he's really coming into his own late in the year, and I think he's a guy that coming into Husky Stadium has a chance to really make an impact, put his name on that Apple Cup lore.
Well, let's take a look at the quarterbacks side by side. Again, Price missed the last game and a half for all the yards, though. Check out the bottom line. Halliday with significantly more miscues, 19 interceptions to Price's 4. What do you think about that? I mean, he's throwing the ball a lot more, though.
Yeah, but the turnover margin is going to be huge in this game, and just because they've thrown the ball more doesn't necessarily mean that it should equate to more interceptions. And so I think, you know, for Connor, he's got to protect the football here in Husky Stadium.
Final thoughts, guys. Got to get your predictions as well.
Well, of course, I'm going with the hometown favorite. I predict a victorious day for the Dogs. Of course, it's Apple Cup 2013. I think the defense is going to have a great day.
Really?
You know, with the quarterback at Holiday. He's a gunslinger, as we can see. I think I'm looking for Sean Parker and those guys back there, Ducray and Schamberger and Peters to have a field day.
Alex?
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, 38-35 Cougs. Andrew Fernie hits the game winner here in Husky Stadium.
Wow. A la last year at Martin Stadium. Will be interesting for Roy Lewis, Alex Brink, and Michelle Lutka. I'm Aaron Levine. Kickoff at the bottom of the hour. We will be with you right after the game with reaction from the winning team.